Hi everyone, I'm Alana. Welcome to another episode of Accelerating on Reinventing DGA. In our first 4 videos, we covered the spreadsheet requirements based on the rules for flat track racing. We should be ready to build the spreadsheet now, right? Wrong. But Alana, what do you mean? We went through the requirements in detail. What did we miss? Well, let me explain. Today we're going to talk about something that every project manager, race organizer, or really anyone has faced: surprises. This is where things get real. In this episode, I'm going to share the field lessons and unexpected moments that we had to work through live at the AFTA events. If you've ever been involved in a project, you know one thing's for sure: surprises are always going to happen, and this little spreadsheet project is no different. Full disclosure, the processes you'll see in this series have evolved over the past year. Why? Well, the truth is, we only get 3 weekends a year for live testing of new prototypes or modifications. Because of the limited test time and ongoing requests, the project schedule for the 2023 and 2024 seasons was thrown out the window. We live in Alberta, Canada, and weather does play a part in the event management. It's common for the temperature to change by 20 degrees Celsius in a single day. We could have blistering heat, rain, hail, tornadoes, and even the occasional summer snowstorm. It's widely accepted that if you don't like our weather, wait 5 minutes. So imagine sitting out in a field on a fold-out chair with a temporary table using a workstation that you aren't used to. Bright sunlight obscures your screen. Maybe the chilly Alberta morning makes typing feel like an extreme sport. Worse, a sudden hailstorm pops up and you're being pelted with ice while trying to protect the computer equipment. These weather events are a part of managing the AFTA races. During these live test scenarios, surprise requirements started popping up. One of the first was that an ATV event needed to be the first heat of the day. Why? Well, after the track is watered down for safety, the ATVs help compact the track so it's safer for the bike riders. This wasn't covered in the rules, or something that was initially planned for, but it made sense. I was able to apply a field bandage to this for the 2024 season, but this solution only guaranteed that an ATV event was the first on the list. The remainder of the ATV races were randomly distributed throughout the program. Now, in the off-season, one of my tasks is to figure out how to spread the ATV races more evenly throughout the schedule. But having an ATV event as the last race of the day wouldn't make sense. This will help increase the flow of the events and improve the safety for our riders. It's a balancing act: safety, time, and keeping things fair for all riders. Another big challenge was dealing with back-to-back races. No one wants back-to-back races. It wears out the riders and their equipment. Complicating this, our riders compete in different classes and use different vehicles. At my first event, I was faced with this issue head-on. A frustrated rider approached me, and honestly, I was probably more upset with myself than he was. My whole goal is for people to enjoy these weekends, and I'd made things harder for them. I raced home that night, got to work, and thought that I had fixed the issue for the next day's round. I was so proud of myself when I published the schedule, but of course, I had missed something. A parent came to me and asked me to reorganize the schedule so that he wasn't in back-to-back races with his child. Why? He couldn't finish his race and then get his little one out to the track in time. Again, common sense, back to the drawing board. To generate the heat order, we currently assign random numbers to classes and then count the number of back-to-back races by membership. Then we apply a data validation rule that searches for a solution with a total back-to-back race count of 0. As we narrow down the available random numbers, it gets harder to arrange races without having back-to-back events. It's similar to picking your favorite jelly bean from a jar. Each pick leaves you with fewer options. This will make it harder to evenly distribute the ATV races, since doing so will limit the choices our random number generator has to assign to the remaining classes. I thought that I had a working solution for the back-to-back issues. It had worked well all season, but again, I was wrong. Fast forward to the last race weekend of 2024. The day started with frost delays and rough track conditions, which luckily gave me a bit of breathing room. As we were preparing the heat program, I realized something. the automated process for avoiding back-to-back races wasn't working. In previous events, the data validation protocols had worked like a charm, but not this time. As the number of registered race classes shrinks, it becomes almost impossible to avoid back-to-back races for both adults and children in the same family. I had one family whose schedule was preventing setting the entire heat order. It was incredibly frustrating. Luckily, over time, I'd built relationships with the riders, so we were able to chat and find a solution. They had one small scheduling hiccup, but we were able to manage it. I believe that relationship building is critical and probably one of the most valuable skills people can have. Effective communication and mutual respect can help clarify issues and assist in finding acceptable solutions, like it did on this day. We don't operate in a vacuum. We're part of a team. Coming out of the last race weekend in 2024, another new request came in. Some of the riders asked if the Mad Dog class could be the last race of the day, beginning in 2025. We're going to explore this challenge, but it will be tough. We still need to space out the ATV events, and we've already run into issues with the generation of race orders. Can it be done? We'll see. This is one of the things we'll explore in future videos. That's a wrap on the requirements portion of this series, covering the rules, surprises, and lessons from the field. You may be wondering why there has been so much focus on requirements. It's as simple as measure twice, cut once. When tackling any project, it's far better to invest the time up front to understand what's truly needed. Assumptions can lead to costly rework, both in time and money. A solid understanding of requirements can lead to a smoother execution. Thanks for sticking with me through all the twists, turns, and behind-the-scenes action of organizing these events. We're just getting started. In our next video, we're kicking off the fun part, building the actual workbook. This is where all the planning comes to life and we start creating the tool that makes these events run smoothly. So, if you're curious about how everything comes together, be sure to join me as we continue this exciting series. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Next, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get into the fun of Excel and building the workbook. This is where I get super excited and more than a little nerdy. See you next time on Reinventing DGA.